guys, Mike with Old Iron. Today we're going to be working on this fender. Now, quite honestly, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. You know what I mean? I'll explain that in a minute here, as soon as I take you off of the tripod. This is the original fender for the mullet, okay? And the reason I went out and got another fender is because this section right here was actually folded over probably about 30 degrees or so inward. I mean, looks like they might have ran over, I don't know, a tire. Maybe they lost a tire or something. But this whole piece was out like this, and this whole section was kind of like pushed up, so it was bowed right here on the fender. Now I went out and got another fender. I played hell finding a passenger side fender for a third gen Camaro that I could just drive and pick up. I didn't want to buy a new one because the stampings usually aren't right, and they're just thin, they're cheap. You know, you walk by it and you pass gas and you end up with a damn dent in the thing. You know what I mean? I just didn't want to deal with it. I wanted a stock fender, so I had a better chance of that not happening, you know? Now, the other fender, when I picked it up, it looked good. It looked like original paint, because it had the rally stickers that go down the side, and they were all peeling and crap like that. Well, apparently, sometime in its life, it had body work done to it that I really didn't notice when I picked it up. And I looked over it decent, you know what I mean? The more I work on that fender, I stripped it down. The more I work on that fender, the less I want it on my car. Can I fix it? Yeah. It has a lot of rust issues. Nothing major, but enough to throw up a red flag for me, if that makes any sense. This car has no rust on it. No rust. If I rolled it outside and hosed it down, there's not a part on this car, underneath, inside, nooks and crannies, etc., that I wouldn't take a sandwich, run it over it, and eat the damn thing. It's that clean, you know? And yeah, it's a 90 RS Camaro. You know what I mean? It's not the holy grail of Camaros or anything like that. But the body's in exceptionally good shape. It's worth the attention. It's worth not half-assing it, you know? Let me take you off here. I'll show you what's going on with the fender. I'll show you what's going on with the other fender. And you tell me if I'm crazy or not. Now, this fender here, like I said, well, you can still see that line right there? All right. From there, this way, from right here, all the way down to, well, right here. This was all folded back, all right? So I started to pull it out and straighten it out. I got, this lip was all caved in. I got that straightened out. Same with the back side over here. This was all kinked and twisted. I got that straightened out. I've still got some more work to do on this tab. And we're going to start hammering dialing this out and see what we can't do with it. We've also got this area here. Now, I had my son-in-law. I was going to just scrap this fender originally. I'm glad I didn't. I had him messing with it. He don't know anything about body work, and I was trying to teach him like the basics and stuff. And he hammered this out, but he actually hammered it too much, so it's actually high right in here. So I got to get that down, get all that smoothed out. And this is what I'm talking about. I mean, look at the tabs on these fenders. They're spotless. They're absolutely spotless. There's not even surface rust. You know what I mean? Same with, you really can't see that one, but same with that underneath. Now this fender here, from this body line, and that body line down there, this way, it's all going to have to be skimmed. It's pitted here. I've got a rust issue here, and this is my main concern. See that bracket right there? It's hammered dog shit. So if I do not have a choice but to use this fender, I got to cut out that bracket and cut it out of this fender here and weld it in. And all up on top here, this is all pitted through here. Now I got rid of all the rust and I treated it, but it's still going to need to be skimmed. Besides that, it's a good fender. So it's usable, but quite honestly, I'd rather try to work with a fender with zero rust on it first before I work on a fender that still might have some rust. You know what I mean? Because yes, I got all the rust. Let's see if I can get a good picture of it. I got all the rust off of this, but like right here, you've got this seam, and I'm sure there's rust like back underneath here on that fender, and there's no way to get to it. So the possibility of that one popping for one reason or another is a hell of a lot higher than what this one's going to be. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it. So I'm going to put you guys on a tripod. We're going to try to hammer and dolly some of this out, try to straighten this out, and hopefully by the end of the day we'll have some kind of decision going on. I ain't going to be out here all day. I got a couple hours to kill. I figured I'd come out here, and I was going to start tinkering with that fender. I started going back and forth, and I'm looking at him like, Jesus Christ, man, I really don't want to put that in the car. So it is what it is, man. The odds of me finding a third fender, if I could find a good third fender that's rust-free and straight, bingo, baby. Like I said, I don't want to buy a new one. Hindsight, I should have spent the money and got they make fiberglass fenders, or they might be steel. I'm not 100% sure on that. For what they cost, they should be steel. Concept fenders that had the vents in them. You can find them online. I should have bit the bullet and just bought the damn things, but I'm trying to do this as a budget build, and it was out of budget. So in hindsight, it would have been cheaper to get those fenders than all the work I've done on that fender, all the work I got to do on this fender to straighten it out and make a decision and either put the vents in one of these fenders and finish it off. I would have been better off just buying the other fenders. But it was a cool project. It was fun. You know what I mean? Took longer than what I wanted. But finding that passenger side fender is just, you can find the drivers all day. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if there's a blind spot that, you know, when you're driving, that where people do more damage to the passenger side fenders than they do to drivers. But I get online now, I go to local scrapyard, and I come home with 24 damn driver side fenders. I can't find a one passenger. Now, if anyone ever questioned all my marks on the bullnose over here, this is what we got going on. See this line here? Everything on this side is good, man. Everything from there down, not so good. Alright, we've got lows, which I kind of circle them to the edge of the low. If that makes any sense. That way, when I'm dialing, hammer and dialing, I've got some kind of reference. That's the only reason I do it. But here's the kicker. And one of my many moments of wisdom, I saw that line. You know what that line is? That's the top of my side skirt. So, in all actuality, I don't have to get this paint ready. Well, what I'm saying is, this don't need to be perfect, man. It's going to be underneath the side skirt, okay? Because there's the holes for the RS symbol, and right there is where the top of that skirt runs. So, as long as I can get this to where, well, basically this, And this is where it needs to be. It really don't matter too much about the middle. It don't need to be 100% pretty. Now, yes, I'm going to hammer and dolly it. I'm going to try to get the best I can. You know what I mean? But that's a game changer right there. And why I did not think about that earlier, I don't know. Call it a moment of stupidity. Okay? Or mic moment, whatever the hell you want to call it. But if I can get this to where it lines up properly, and this jam here lines up properly, all I really got to worry about, which I got you zoomed in so you really can't see it, is that front section I showed you earlier, which is no big deal. It was over hammered. I just got to dolly it back a little bit, smooth it out, skim it. I might have to rework that front body line a little bit like I had to on the rear quarter over on the driver's side, which is really not that big of a deal. And we'll end up using this fender. I'm leaning more and more towards it. So let me grab the hammer and dollies, and we'll start tinkering away here. I'm going to try to do this without getting in the camera frame. It's going to be almost impossible. Now, please, by all means, I am not the best hammer and dolly guy. All right, I just do what I can do. There's probably much better guys on the internet that can properly show you how to do it. I'm probably not that guy, but I could do it enough to get it done. That makes any sense? This is definitely where an extra set of hands would come in handy, which I don't have. My dog don't have opposable thumbs. How can we do this? Maybe a little bit. I just want it to stop scooting around when I'm tinkering with it. And there. Right. Kind of half-ass like that for now might work. I just don't want it scooting around. Yeah, it still takes a nosedive right there. Actually, that's good right there. It's just a little better. Get that a little better, and it'll start working down. And what I'm hoping, if I can work this edge off, I'm hoping it, as I bring this down, it brings this kind of up a little bit. And the same with these, because usually metal has a memory, and if you move it in the right direction, it'll start moving back towards what it remembers. And hopefully this don't remember a flat sheet. But we'll work it out and get it rough, and then we'll set it on the car and just keep going back and forth. And I think we'll get this no problem. No problem. Alright guys, I think we might be saving a fender. I got the highs out. Now, I've still got a couple lows. I'm not going to sit here all day and knock it back and forth, not back and forth, because it seems like every time I try to get rid of the lows, I get my high back. So, the lows I could fill, and quite honestly, I skim coat this, sand it down. There's probably going to be about an 1/8 inch of filler in the deepest spots. And that's about my max, you know. Now, there might be an area right here which is actually kind of all said and done, might be pushing closer to 1/4, you know. If I can't keep it under 1/4, I'm not using it, you know. And it's not like the whole thing's going to be 1/4 inch of Mondo. It would be this area right here where I got to get that body line back, and where I got to ridge up that body line. That might be 1/4 inch thick. Yeah, I mean, everything else should go out with about an 1/8 inch. Yeah, with about an 1/8 inch of filler. Now, right here it feels high, and I took straight edge to it, and it's not. What it is this is the right contour right here. It's a little low right here, and then it's low through here, where I couldn't really hammer and dolly, because you got this flange, and then you got like a double seam right in the corner here, and I really can't get back up in there, even with what I call the pick end of the dolly hammer. So I'm going to have to work with that a little bit, but what it's doing is giving the illusion that this right here is high, and I don't think it is. When I had you guys on pause, I actually took some guide coat, I guide coated it and sanded it, and it's hitting here, but it's not hitting here, and it's not hitting here, if that makes any sense. Which tells me, well, this is the original Fender. You know what I mean? This ain't dented, this is the body line that I need right here. So with this as a reference, if I'm bridging this with this, it tells me those are pretty much at the same heights, and these two areas are low. And at least, knock on Fender, that's what I'm hoping. But I'm going to take this, I'm going to try to fit it to the car, see how close I am, and we're just going to go back and forth until my arms fall off. Guys, I am 90% sure that we just saved the fender. And now, I just got 2 bolts, well, I got 3 bolts. One in each corner on the top, and I got one on the bottom down here, okay? There's no bolts in the fairing, in the ground effects there. And I haven't adjusted it, I haven't gapped it with the door or anything like that, okay? But what you can see is before this right here, like I said, there's no screws in that. Yeah, I mean, but it's solid now. Before, there was probably about that much of a gap in that damn thing because this was rolled. It was rolled that way, and then same width. If I can get this where it's supposed to be again. Like I said, I just got it sitting here. But you can see it's pretty good along that, around that flare, especially after we tighten it up and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But to give you an idea, this bottom corner is all the way up there, which is probably about 5-6 inches. You know what I mean? So this is a good thing, my friends. Now I got to throw the nose on it and see how all this is right here. I'm not 100% sure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a bolt right in here, and I'm going to throw the other fender on. I'm just going to throw like 4 bolts in the nose just to kind of see if everything's going to line up, if that makes any sense. And then I'll pull this off and we'll start working on it. But I think we got it, buddy. I don't think I have to use that piece of shit fender or spend another 2 months trying to find a decent one. You know what I mean? I think I can use this one. And that just made my day. Good Lord's been good to me today, I'll tell you that, man. If this works out, right there, man. But I gotta get this back off. Well, no, actually, I gotta put the other fender on. I'll do that tomorrow. But I need to get cleaned up. We are going to an outdoor concert tonight to see some of our friends play, and I gotta get cleaned up because I ain't going like this, you know. And I'll actually probably do a video on it because it's a beautiful park. It's award-winning, and if you're ever in the area, you really need to check it out. There's some good restaurants, and we might just do a video on it. And I'd actually like to start doing, when I'm out on the road, when I see something cool, I'm going to stop and do videos of it, man. That way, if you're in the area or wherever I happen to be, and you want to see some cool places, if I find them, man, I'll let you know. You know, we'll do a little video on them, let you know about them and stuff like that. But that's where we're at. And I am ecstatic. So, if this was any help, if you want to follow along on the project, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I'd appreciate it, man. I like hearing from you guys. And we will see you soon. I appreciate every last one of you guys, man.